Good morning. Thanks again for joining us. And if it's your first time, I appreciate you coming. Today we'll be using the Mars version 2.0. This is the new one that just got released from his Kickstarter. I had the original prototype in black, and there were some changes with the knob on the back, some changes with the top cap design and the way that fits. Some changes at the front. You can see some design changes. And then he did a lot of changes with the base plates. A lot of how the base plates incrementally increase in blade gap and everything as they go up from plate 1 to plate 10. I got 10 base plates for half of a DE, and I got 10 base plates for an injector blade. We're gonna use an injector today. I'm using a vintage, new old stock Schick Super Chromium. I like these Schick ones. A little hard to get started. When they put these old injectors, or even new injectors, there's oil between the blades. And these old ones, because that oil is kind of dried out, sometimes it can be a little, you gotta really put some elbow to get it started to slide out. But I haven't found that it affects the blade edge in any way. Sometimes you'll have like a little oil spot on the blade, but there's not on this one, it's just normal. So we unscrew. You don't have to completely remove the screw, you just gotta loosen the screw. And a little more. And then it slides off. And then the cap, I'll show you real quick how that works. The base plates have two nubbins on the back, and they slide into the two grooves. You just line it up and push, and then there'll be a click. And that's seated on there, and that won't move at all. And then I take my little injector. He made these with nubbins on the base plate. They go into, not all, but the majority of injector blades. Luckily the new old stock one, it just sits right on the little nubbins. You just place the top cap over it. And then I hold my thumb there while I'm doing it. You just tighten the knob. There's a reinforced little kick plate on the back where the screw doesn't tighten into, it just tightens on it. There's just a reinforced section there, so you don't want to like tighten it so much that you're actually screwing it in. That's snug, and then that doesn't move. I've never had any problems, even on the original one, I never had any problems with it coming loose. But an injector plate, pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna wet my face real quick. I know the Kickstarter's done. I know a lot of people got theirs before me. I ship them from the UK. So it's not surprising that it took a while for me to get mine, being in the middle of nowhere, the US. I know if you're curious about the razor, check out his Facebook. I'll put a link to his Facebook page down below in the description of the video. The creator, Rob Burns, is in there. He's a cool dude. He's also got a YouTube channel where he's done shave videos with the Mars. He has a couple of how-to videos that he made for loading that he recommends anyone new to the razor watch. And then, I guess I didn't talk about what I'm using, huh? Grizzly Bay Brush. I guess like gold flecked in the middle there is pretty neat. With Maggards SHD knot. I think it's 26 mil. And then I'm using Ariana Evans Little Fictions. Ariana Evans with Gray Matter, which I believe is a fragrance house. It's a very light, subtle scent. A little coconut, just a little. It's pretty lightly scented though. Or at least the one that I have is. I think I bought this off the buy sell trade page, and I think it's the previous, like an older base. It's not the Kaizen, I think it's pre-Kaizen base. But still, I don't have any complaints about any of Ariana Evans bases. Still very nice, slick, thick. But yeah, I was saying, I'll link to his Facebook page. You guys can check that out if you're curious about the razor. And then, well, like I said, I have base plate 5 in here, 5 of 10. I figure I'd start in the middle of the road. I know now that the Kickstarter is done, he's working on making a Facebook page, or not a Facebook page, a storefront page, like an actual website domain, so that he can sell all of his razors from now on, now that the Kickstarter is complete. I don't think it's up yet, but if you follow his Facebook group, I'm sure he'll post once the website is up and running. So far, I'm really liking it. I like ejector blades. If you haven't used them before, they have a different feel than a DE or half DE. The blade is just significantly thicker than a DE blade. There's no flex in it like there are with DE blades, so that changes how the shade is a little bit. I know when he built this razor with the little nubbins that I pointed out where that hold the razor, he built that based around the Schick B20 blade, the modern blade. Those are made in Japan and not, and they're an injector size blade, like a mini hair shaper, I think is what they're actually classified as, but it's not an injector blade, so to speak, because it doesn't have an injector key. They're made to be used in like hair shaper razors, but it's the same size. You could manually load those into an injector. All that being said, I don't know if every blade will fit in there. I know some blades have slightly different hole designs as far as like the 2 holes in the middle of the blade. So if they don't have those 2 holes, or if they're not in the same spot, it might not fit. So if you are going to buy it with the injector plates, I know the new old stock blades I have work, and I know the Schick B20s work for sure, because that's what it was built around. I'm not sure if you bought, say, the blades from Supply. The Personas I think would work in the white case, which is, I don't think they call them that on their website, but they're just rebranded Personas made in America. Their new blades, the black label, which I haven't had a chance to try yet, those are made in Japan, and I don't know who makes them. I don't know why they don't tell anybody about that. They're very tight-lipped about their blade manufacturing. They're very excited that they have a new blade that isn't available anywhere else. Other than it's Japanese manufactured. But they don't tell you if it's Schick or Feather or another manufacturer of some kind. They just kind of leave it up there for you to guess. But anyway, my point is, I don't know if those blades will fit in this. I haven't ever looked at those because I don't have any. I don't know if the design is the same as standard injector razors with those 2 holes. I've heard those black label blades are quite good, but the plastic injector casing they have for them. I guess it's designed differently so that it works really well on the supply, but it doesn't work in any vintage injector. I don't know if that was an intentional design flaw. I wouldn't assume so, because you'd think you'd want people to go out and buy your blades, but then again, their business model is not to sell blades, it's to sell razors, so maybe they did that on purpose, I don't know. It's the razor is not metal, if you haven't guessed that already. I've reviewed the original Mars before on the channel, and it's the same material. It's a resin. It's very, very sturdy. Like, you couldn't break this in half, but it's not like a traditional plastic. Very, very sturdy. It's light. Is it as light as the Henson? I think it's a little bit heavier than the Henson. Different material, but it's a little bit bulkier in the handle. That might add to the weight a little bit. I mean, it's not as heavy as a stainless steel razor in any way, but it's a little bit heavier than a standard aluminum razor. Maybe titanium? Pretty similar. I think the titanium's a little bit heavier. It's an interesting shape. It feels different than shaving with a regular injector razor, even though it's using the same blade, but I can't quite say why. The blade angle and everything is very similar to an injector insofar as, like, they're both like angled faces and they're meant to be put, you know, flat against your face and then slightly angled. So, I mean, you're using it like a, you know, similar to an injector style razor, but it feels a little different. Maybe it's the ergonomics of the handle. Doesn't feel bad, just different. All right, final pass. Against the grain. I do like this handle design. Like, it looks significantly different from any other razor I've ever owned, but I really like the way, like, it feels in the hand, the grooves. He did a lot of thought, or he put a lot of thought into where he put the grooves and where there isn't any, where you're gonna end up placing your thumb, and so he made sure he added grip to that. I like it. Even like if you're reversing your hand grip to go against the grain, like they're that grip. I like it. He did a really good job. And it's very intuitive. Like, it looks like there's some weird angles in there, but it's super intuitive to hold this razor and put it against your face. There's no hunting. You're not trying to find a specific like angle. This is very natural. It's feeling really nice on that against the grain pass. It's feeling really smooth. That's quite smooth on the against the green side. It's got a lot of audio feedback. I talked about that in other readers. I think it has to do with the design of the head shape and the acoustics resonating in there. I think the material plays a factor too. It sounds like really aggressive for that really loud audio. But it's quite smooth. It passes lather really well. I probably should have shown that, but it just pushes lather down and it just kind of gathers right here in this neck and then just pushes down the handle. It doesn't hang out around the blade. With the original Mars, I think I did a whole pass or one whole side of my face without rinsing, just to like show how much lather it just keeps pushing down, and you never lose blade contact or feel. Interesting, you can tell like the color on the red changes a little bit depending on where it's wet. It's interesting. It just makes it a little bit darker, and then when it dries it gets kind of spotchy is not the right word, kind of like that. A really good shave. I think tomorrow I'll try the new DE plates. That's good. The Mars with an injector. I'm gonna do a cold water rinse and then I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Little post-shave action, a little bit of conversation. So I bought all of the base plates for both the injector and the DE. You don't have to, he's got options. Or he had it on the Kickstarter, I don't have it when he gets his website up and running as well, where you can buy just injectors or just the DE plates. You can, I think, pick which ones you want if you didn't want to buy all 10. I think you had a couple like options where you could do like 5 of the base plates. It was like every other one's like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That way you're still getting a progression up, but you don't need all 10 if you don't want. I think you can pick the ones if you want that. I had a couple color options on this Kickstarter. He had the standard black that we had on the original one, the maroon. There's a blue, what was that, the darker royal blue. And then I really like this scent. That really comes out better than Splash. I'm not sure how to classify it. Kind of a cologne scent. Got a lot of nuance to it. Very well blended. Like there's not like individual scent notes. It's a very well blended. Smells good. It's like a light fragrance, like a light cologne type. That was a really good shave though. Very smooth. I like the 5 injector plate. I think I'll try the DE tomorrow, the half DE. So tune in for that. Check out his website or his Facebook group and get more details, and check out his website when that gets put up. It's a very cool razor. It's a guy from the UK. He made this from the ground up all on his own. He did a bunch of research, iterations. You know, these are the 2 that he got released, but even between these 2, if you go scroll through his Facebook page for the Mars, you can see like the iterations where he's talking about, okay, I had another conversation with the engineer and this happened and XYZ, and I got this part back to try and it wasn't quite how I wanted, so you went back again for another design process where he's working in CAD or whatever he's working in to design like the top cap differences and stuff. Like this has a little curve up here, and this he changed a lot of the top cap design and stuff. Pretty interesting. But he put a lot of effort into it. It's a very cool razor, I think. That somebody had a dream to get one out there that made it really easy. I think he did a great job. I really like it, Rob. If you ever watch his video, the Mars is awesome. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, hit the buttons. I do appreciate that. And if you have any ideas or want to see anything for future content, let me know. And I appreciate you guys always. Thank you. Have a good day.